Rides are busy? Well, here's a few extra things you can do to keep yourself busy at Disneyland Paris. On our many visits to Disneyland Paris, we've noticed that during the afternoons it can get really busy on all the rides. So what we thought we'd do this time, we're going to film this across a couple of visits to Disneyland Paris this year. We're going to show you some walk-through attractions which will be slightly less busy than the main attractions. They're all things you can walk through. Some of them you might bypass and not even know they're there. So we're going to put them all together on this video. So the first up on the walkthrough is Le Tanier du Dragon, which is an attraction that's unique to Disneyland Paris. Under the castle, there's a hidden beast. The Sleeping Beauty gallery that you've just seen. It's the centrepiece inside the castle here at Disneyland Paris. Quite a good walk-through attraction, lots of interesting stained glass windows, and when you get out onto the balcony at the back you get quite a good view of Fantasyland on the other side. Unique to Disneyland Paris are two arcades, one on either side of the park. This one's called the Liberty Arcade because there's lots of pictures and information about the Statue of Liberty. Now you may know about these because you may shelter from the rain in them, or they're actually quick shortcuts if the main street is too busy. But the Liberty Arcade holds a secret that not even I've seen. Despite all my years of visiting Disneyland Paris, I've never been to see it. And we're going to check this out now. So I've been coming to Disneyland Paris for 20 years and I only read about this a few weeks before we came. I've never seen it before. It's a small animatronic inside there, just a nice display of the Statue of Liberty. And it's actually reminiscent of the Hall of Presidents, if you've ever seen that in the Walt Disney World before, but obviously on a much smaller scale, some little figures in there. Another walk-through attraction is right on the edge of Frontierland. It's the fort, there's lots of little walkways and dioramas to look at. Really interesting, let's go and have a look. Nice authentic Western Frontierland vibe. Final part's Buffalo Bill. This is another good walk-on attraction. You can do it any time during the day. I think it runs till about 5 o'clock at night, later in the summer. It's the Molly Brown, which is a Mississippi-style paddle steamer. You get a good ride all the way around the lake here, and you can see Big Thunder Mountain in the middle. Very pleasant way to spend 20 minutes or so. attraction isn't going to take you long to get through, but it is well worth seeing. It's called Aladdin's Enchanted Passage. It's in the Adventureland section, right on the edge, just where the archway leads in from the central hub. You go through that door there and you see various scenes from the film Aladdin. Check it out. So you think most of the major rides are getting a bit busy. Here's a good thing, you can while away an hour or so. It's called Adventure Isle. It's in the Adventureland here at Disneyland Paris. There's several ways to get onto it. This one you can walk across the bridge there. Got nice views of the lake and the beach scene. Now on Adventure Isle you've got a vast system of caves that you could spend ages walking through, and it eventually leads to a suspension rope bridge over, and again you get great views from there. Lots of caves you can walk through on the inside. There's water features in the cave. There's also the Cabane de Robinson, based on the Swiss Family Robinson story there. There's a tree house that you can climb all the way to the top. Lots of interesting things to see there. There's also Captain Hook's ship there, the pirate galleon. Now that is usually a play park. It's actually closed at the moment, but whenever they reopen it, it's a great place for kids to play and climb over different slides and rigging and things like that. And the other side of Adventureland leads to Pirates of the Caribbean over there off Adventure Isle, and to the side you can get to Colonel Harty's Pizza Outpost and also the Indiana Jones ride. So it's a great centrepiece to Adventureland, and the island itself is an attraction. There's a great little scene there of Carl and Russell from Up. And if you look at various points around the park, there are little statues and exhibits from the different Pixar films. But I really like this one in Adventureland, set against the water. Another great view, the other side of Adventureland, over to the pirate ship, Skull Rock, a few waterfalls. Obviously you can see the rest of the park over there, but this is what we're going over in a minute. Suspension bridge. This is the kind of cave I like. It feels authentic, but you know it's nice and safe. It's got a solid floor and there's lanterns every so often. Right in the middle of Adventure Isle is the Swiss Family Treehouse, or the Cabane de Robinson. It's a good example of Disney packing a lot into a very small space. Obviously they use the vertical space of the treehouse, but you'd be surprised at how much you can see when you go up there. It's a series of steps, so you're not taking your wheelchair or your stroller on this one, but if you don't mind climbing the steps, then it's quite a good attraction to do when all the other rides are busy. One of the things that Disney had to consider when deciding where to build their park in Europe was whether they wanted it in a hot weather place or a cold weather place. They could have built it in Spain, for example, and they got much better weather all year. But they decided to site it in Paris, where there were millions of people within a 4-hour drive and it's easily accessible, and that's great. But of course, being in Paris, that means that in the autumn and winter, they're going to get a lot of rain. Now, they've not left you out here because What they've done is they've built a special covered walkway that can pretty much get you from the top of the park here, where we are between Pirates of the Caribbean and Peter Pan. It takes you almost all the way to the entrance without hardly ever having to get wet if it's raining. So we're going to show you that path now. Bit of a gap coming. Oh no, kind of covered. I think you'd still get wet if it was raining. Now this is where you do have to make, this is the biggest break, you're going to have to make it to the other side of the marketplace in Adventureland. We're lucky today because it's sunny. This is the key part of the path you're looking for, under the awning towards Frontierland. I started saying that this walkway was all about keeping dry, which of course it is if it's raining, but more than anything it's almost like a super secret hub that takes you from one side of the park to the other with hardly any people in the way. There's parades going on, there are masses of people here today because we're here over the Christmas break, yet look at the walkway itself, there's nobody here. See how busy some of the crossing points are, but the general rule of the walkway being quiet holds. Still protected from the elements here. And we'll take a right turn to the Liberty Arcade. I think we're going to stop there now. You get the idea, we're pretty close to the entrance of the park. You've still got cover from the rain all the way down there. But once you get out of the park, you'll have to put up with the rain, I'm afraid. But hopefully that passage that we've just shown you may be useful getting back and forward at the park. Maybe you're in the rush to make a dining reservation, or you want to get to a certain ride pretty quickly. That's a good route to use. Another walk-through attraction in Fantasyland, Alice's Curious Labyrinth, obviously based on Alice in Wonderland. Lots of character, lots of colour and lots of things going on. It's a maze that packs a lot into a very tight area. And don't be fooled by the early exit. You want to be heading for the building in the middle. It's a good experience that, walking around, finding your way through the maze. There's a few dead ends. Worth getting to the building in the centre. I don't know whether it's got a name, but to me it's very Gaudi-esque and wouldn't look out of place in Barcelona. But it's a good experience to do if it's a bit busy on all the rides. Another attraction worth doing is over here in Discoveryland, Mickey's PhilharMagic. It's a 3D film. It's got various scenes from different films, like it's got the Sorcerer's Apprentice section, it's got a scene from Coco, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, 3D glasses, so it looks really great, things reaching out of the screen. At this time of year in the winter, it runs between 12 and 5 o'clock. Summer, it'll be a bit longer, but it's always shorter than the park hours. It'll probably open at 10ish and close about 6 or 7. So again, worth seeing because you can sit down for 15 minutes, have a bit of a rest. The last few times we've come here to Discoveryland, we've tried to put the Nautilus on a walkthrough video. That's the Nautilus submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea here. It's set in this beautiful pool. And before it closed, you could walk down through the tower down there. It takes you under the water in a walkway, and it's like a mock-up of the submarine inside. It's a really interesting walkthrough. But it's not been open since the pandemic. Whether Disney have any plans to open it again in the future, I don't know. but it's worth keeping an eye on if they do open it. But if they don't, it's worth coming and looking at the water here and the submarine and the waterfalls. It's one of the most picturesque points in the whole park.